Okay, so we have the situation where Poe Dameron is being tortured by Kylo Ren.
Right? Are we,
Great dialogue. Are you comfortable?
yeah.
Yeah. So that happened. And then Kylo Ren uses the Force to, and it's just the dialogue and his voice, even with the modulation and the mask, you can
really
still
cool.
have a lot of emotion to it as a villain. Hats off to Adam Driver for his ability to really convey that character in a very real and human way. I was not prepared for that level of performance, and I'm happy that they held back on him as much as they did. You know, so new Force powers coming out.
I mean, they feel like they're kind of new, but they feel like it's just they're just like more evolved a little bit.
Dark side versions of light side powers.
Yeah.
Because telling people what to do and them doing it is a light side power. Maybe it's neutral. It's how you apply it. But he's able to like psychically get into people's minds through pain and get them, and he can see images or whatever, right?
Is that? See, I didn't get that vibe.
I want to see what you see when she was asking Rey for the map.
Okay.
And she wouldn't think of the map. You've seen the map, right?
Yeah.
Right? So you have all of these really interesting new abilities with the Force and the use of the dark side. So I think that's something that's interesting. And the psychic torture, the Night Even Vader did that. He didn't do it to Leia. He brought in a probe.
Yeah.
Right? So, and also right after that, right after the torture scene, you get our first view of Snoke. Is that when he went to the chamber and talked to Snoke as a hologram?
Yeah.
So the rumors about Snoke being 25 feet tall aren't true. The hologram is 25 feet tall. And Snoke is a human person that's been scarred.
Yeah.
He has a human face that's been deformed.
And his location is
secret.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Indeterminate
at this point. So you get to see that. He's just a really old man that's been
crusty old white man.
Yeah, like, and I don't know why they needed to CGI him, because they could have done like they did with Vader. Vader was all scarred and maybe been too much like Darth Vader without his helmet on.
Maybe. What's the actor that does it? It was the guy that does Golem for Lord of the Rings.
Andy Serkis.
Andy Serkis, yeah. He was great. I thought he did
his
really
voice,
good.
he's able to change his voice so much for movies.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't sound anything like Claw did in the Avengers.
Right.
He sounded like Benedict Cumberbatch when the trailer first launched. I thought it was like, wow, they got Benedict Cumberbatch.
Right. No, he's really Andy Serkis. He's just an entertainer, and he has a wide range of abilities.
Yeah. So he did a great job in bringing that character. I just, the CGI stuff, I just think that sometimes it's overused, and especially when you're doing human faces. I think they really do themselves a disservice when you have so many practical effects in this with the with all the aliens that are and robots that are in the movie, and then to just do your big bad guy as a CGI character.
BB-8 was most impressive.
Oh yeah, and the way he went downstairs, just one hop at a time,
right.
And he has like little appendages and compartments inside of him.
Yeah, like when he can just, like the hooks, like
to anchor himself. The anchoring hooks.
That was awesome. That was really cool.
And to realize that he's a one of a kind. BB-8 is a one of a kind.
Yeah, one of a kind.
Droid. Yeah, he's a BB series, but unique. So I thought that was interesting that they threw that in.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of things in the movie that will apply to episode 8 and 9. So there's a lot of things that won't be revealed, because there's a lot of questions that you have after you see the movie about origins of characters that they just hint at in this movie. And Max von Sydow's character is just one of those, because he has a really good dialogue that you have to pay attention to, because he gives a lot of information in that little bit of dialogue that you eventually will have to reference later on.
Maybe we'll see him in flashbacks.
Yeah, or one of the anthology movies.
Yeah.
So maybe there's that, or there's that hope. I mean, it's such a rich universe that's been laid out, and like I said, even with the revamp of the canon, I have no problem with that. But I think that it'll be a really good way for us to get some really new stories and be surprised as fans as to what's going on. So after they talk to Snoke and talk about what they need to do, it flashes to Finn rescuing Poe. He goes in and he says Kylo
right,
Ren wants to
because he has like
an epiphany.
Yeah, he has the epiphany that they're gonna find out that his gun was working fine.
Right.
And that he doesn't.
And he was scheduled for re-education.
He doesn't want to be disciplined, and he doesn't want to kill anybody.
Right.
He wants away. So
which he says later on. I realized once I got in my first battle, I don't want to kill for these assholes.
Right.
So that was a really powerful.
So
piece.
he really just needed a pilot, you know.
Yeah, and that's what. So even that dialogue was really cool, right?
Yeah.
Then he goes, "I'm here to help you escape. Are you with the resistance? No, I'm rescuing you."
Yeah.
He goes, "Oh wait, you need a pilot."
Yeah, it's like yeah,
and that the dialogue between Oscar Isaacs and who was the actor?
I can't think of his name.
John Boyega.
Yeah,
John Boyega.
yeah.
Oh my God! Every time they're in a scene, it is just hot. The whole movie could have been just them.
I know.
As a buddy movie, that would have been excellent because they are on fire as actors. I mean, they have really. I mean, when an actor is enjoying the movie, I think it enhances their performance.
Yeah.
You know, when they want to be there and they're happy to be there and they're just, oh my
Oh,
God,
for sure.
I'm loving this,
For
and you
sure.
can tell they're loving every minute of this movie. Yeah, so the dialogue and banter, they get him onto the ship, and the ship is anchored. Well, I think you see that in the trailer, that the TIE Fighter's anchored, and the TIE Fighter has a rear gun, which the original TIE Fighters didn't have. It has a gunner's position in the back,
Right.
and he starts taking out the docking bay when
Yeah.
they're trying to stop him from leaving.
All right, let's not give away too much of the plot. Let's just stick to
Broad strokes?
yeah.
Okay, I was just doing it scene by scene. This is a spoiler review.
I mean, yeah, but it's.
If you want to know everything
a long
about the movie,
movie.
this is the way to do it. It is a long movie, right? So they escape, they crash, and was that a monster that sucked the TIE Fighter down? So this part will be about questions that we have about the movie,
I
right?
don't even remember this.
So the TIE Fighter crashed,
yeah.
right? Poe Dameron gets ejected, or
Oh.
Finn gets ejected. He takes
No,
off the Stormtrooper armor.
They were just shot.
No, they were shot down, and they
in
crashed
the sand.
Yeah, in the sand. Did you see the movie?
Yeah. No, I think
think you saw the
something
movie.
swallowed them up, or
And then it exploded. And
yeah, it was really
Because
weird.
it went.
Yeah. So it just ate it, and then it blew up.
The ammunition
Yeah.
blew up or something.
Something.
It was in the sand burning.
It was like a Sarlacc or something.
Sarlacc in there?
I don't know.
Sarlaccs are native to Tatooine, I think.
Well, they could be on other planets.
This is true. Because they've been transporting illegal creatures quite a bit. Yeah. So, so that was a question that I had. Was that a creature that ate the TIE Fighter and then
You know,
it
it
blew up?
wasn't-
Because it had those sounds like it was a monster that was devouring it.
Yeah. It
And
just,
Finn was just standing there like, oh my God, it's going down. I'll be running in the other direction.
Right,
The
right.
giant holes opening up, eating stuff.
yeah, I wasn't certain because you never actually see anything. You just see it like sink into the sand.
And then,
Yeah. And then yeah.
and then Finn walks away taking off his armor.
Yeah.
But before that, he pulls Poe's jacket out of the TIE Fighter because he thinks Poe's still in there burning.
Right.
And that's how he ends up with the jacket. And he's walking through the desert with the jacket over his head and just the black jumpsuit from the Stormtrooper armor.
Right.
And then he comes across the village where he sees Rey getting manhandled by two aliens.
Well, no, she takes care of them.
Yeah, she's getting manhandled, and then she don't get too much away. So there's a big fight where she uses the staff and kicks some ass. So being a human female surrounded by aliens on a hostile planet, right?
Yeah.
She shows that she can take care of herself, right?
Yeah.
And
Oh, for
Finn
sure.
is a
No,
trained
she has to take care
protector
of him.
as a stormtrooper. Yeah. So the roles are completely switched. Like he thinks he's going to be the
Yeah.
savior, and really she's the one that saved it. Like, quit holding my hand. Would you please?
Yeah.
Quit holding my hand. I can run without you holding my hand. That was another good piece of
Right.
dialogue.
No, that was great. Yeah.
Yeah, that she could take care of herself. Totally independent woman, doesn't need saving. So that happened. And then,
But let's just.
what other
forward
questions?
To like,
So the other questions that I had was, they explained how the Millennium Falcon got to the planet, which he says that's a piece of junk when they're trying to escape.
oh yeah, someone stole it from someone.
Somebody sold it to Han Solo.
Yeah.
Then he got it stolen from, and he got it stolen
Yeah,
from,
yeah,
and then
yeah.
the guy that she worked for owned it, and it just sat there
Yeah.
in as part of his collection of
years.
stuff.
Yeah.
And but she is really technically adept. I guess she's been taking apart Imperial
Yeah,
starships.
she knows everything about ships. Yeah.
Yeah, and so because of the fact she's been taking apart and scavenging through these systems, she knows all about spaceships and systems. That's all she's been doing her whole life. So that's a good. I like the way they tied that in, and how
Yeah.
she knew all the different pieces of the Millennium Falcon because the guy she worked for had her working on the Millennium Falcon for him. and he installed a bunch of stuff that she said was crap and he shouldn't do it.
Right.
Yeah. So I like her character development in that way. And then when they get trapped by that Han Solo's new ship and get pulled on board, that's a good setup. The way they introduce them, and then the creatures get loose and just kill everybody. And the way those creatures looked were absolutely crazy.
Oh,
man.
it was awesome.
And they were just eating people, and you could see the people being eaten.
Yeah,
that was
sweet.
So that was a really good scene. Unexpected, didn't know about it.
Yeah.
And then they use the Millennium Falcon to get away and leave the other ship there.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, these designs are all throwaway designs. Only the new ships that they introduce in this movie, except for the TIE fighters and the X-wings, they're all throwaway designs. They make no sense at all.
Her little land speeder thing.
The Fudgesicle?
Yeah.
You like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Fudgesicle land speeder was cool. And then the Skyhopper that she was going to get on that they blew up, it lasted all, 2 seconds in the show? Yeah. So they're all throwaway designs. Only designs that were iconic were from the previous movies.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, basically. And for some reason, the First Order, they had these flaps on their helmets, or on their hats. What the hell was that about? Half of them were down, half of them were up? It
looks alright.
You like that design?
Yeah, it looked alright.
And look, as somebody who
it's
I didn't like it.
Formal military get up.
But it's not. That's the problem with it. And then the collar it's a Nehru collar that has a fold on it. Again, doesn't make any sense. And then the only person that has the First Order logo is Hux, General Hux.
Yeah.
Nobody else has the logo on it. And then you know how in A New Hope, Tarkin has the little things and Han Solo has the little things on their jacket.
Yeah.
The guy that Kylo Ren chokes has 2 of them on each side. For what? Just because it looks like something from Star Wars? I mean, there's a lot of design cues that were really missed in this that made no sense, and the uniforms are the shiny silk type material, not something that a military would wear. Like all their uniforms are this. Yeah. Anyway, it looked like they were going for a Vidal Sassoon commercial rather than a Star Wars movie. They could have used wool or cotton or something other than satin.
Right.
For their suits. But anyway, that's just me. That's just the artist in me being picky about it and the placement of graphics. Because the Rebels also had just the Rebel logo just randomly on their jackets and on their backs. Not like a military would do at all. And then they did the total 70s painting thing for the logos on the helmets, for the new X-Wing helmets. They did, some of the helmets were like, okay, that's something that somebody would personalize, right? Then these other ones are just like these swooshes from the 1974, stuff that I saw in the 70s around as part of design. It was just 1970s design slapped on to these guys' helmets, which makes no rhyme or reason. But the really cool thing when Rey was sitting outside of her walker, and she grabbed Luke's old helmet. I think it was Luke's helmet. So any of you guys that are nerdier than me, when you look at the movie, see if you can match her helmet up with one of the helmets from A New Hope or Return of the Jedi, because it looked like it was one of those helmets.
Oh yeah, no, definitely.
Right?
Yeah.
Because all of the helmets had very distinct logos on it, which they tried to emulate in this new one. But the thing about those helmets, they were props, and they were wobbling on their heads as they were in the cockpits trying to fly. And if you're a fighter pilot, you definitely don't want your helmet flopping around on your head as you're doing maneuvers. Yeah. That's another thing that bothered me about the design department. The design department, DJ, has been weak on design a lot.
Yeah.
With a lot of even in Star Trek with the iPhone bridge.
Even in Alias and Lost.
No, that was all real stuff. But his sci-fi stuff has been very weak in the design department. I didn't like the iPhone bridge. I didn't like the flop helmets that they have, the prop helmets that you can tell don't form any function because they don't hug their head, just so you can see the actors' faces. I guess that serves that purpose. But I mean, they did it in Return of the Jedi, and they did a much better job with the helmets where you can see the actors' faces, but they look like they were helmets and they stuck to their heads, like if you were in a plane or a bike or a motorcycle would. Yeah. So anyway, that's my rant. So you guys can chastise me for that.
So wait, what? Leaving the theater, which questions did you leave with?
I left with who are Rey's parents?
Right.
Is Finn force sensitive? Is he gonna wake up and have force powers?
Yeah.
Who the hell is Snoke, and why does everybody know him?
Yeah.
Right. What is his history?
I want to know all their stories.
He's not like he just appeared as the bad guy.
Right.
He has a history.
Been around. Yeah.
He's been around. And I'm sure they're going to explore Matt von Sydow's character because of that dialogue. It's a very, very powerful dialogue in the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, I want to know more about Luke's relationship with Kylo.
Yeah. So the only thing we've explained to you right now is the first third of the movie. We haven't gone anything else past the first third. So just realize that. So all the rest of that you have to deal with.
Yeah. There's
a lot. There's so much
more that we're not discussing.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. So so those are the big questions that I had were, that I had about what they were doing and how it was going to play out for episode 8. So if you have any questions, leave them here at the bottom and we'll take it from there. All right. This is Detroit Comics signing out.